The massive space station floated in the darkness between three star systems. It was called the Galactic Council Station, and it was home to the most powerful beings in the galaxy. The station looked like a giant crystal flower, with towers that sparkled in the light of distant stars. Inside these towers, creatures from 47 different worlds worked together to keep peace in the galaxy. Today was special. The council was meeting to talk about a small blue planet in a quiet corner of space. This planet was called Earth, and the creatures living on it called themselves humans. Ambassador Zexathara stood at the front of the great meeting hall. She was tall and thin, with skin that glowed soft blue in the dark. Her people were called the Hegemony, and they had been part of the council for over 2,000 years. She looked at the other ambassadors sitting in their floating chairs around the circular room. "Friends," she said, her voice carrying easily through the hall. "We are here to discuss the third planet of the Sol system. Our watching teams tell us that the beings there have learned to fly in space. They have also learned to use basic energy. This means they are ready for us to make contact." The other ambassadors nodded. They had done this many times before. When a planet's people learned enough to travel in space, the council would visit them. They would teach the new people about the galaxy and help them join the big community of worlds. The plan was always the same. First, they would land on the planet and meet the leaders. They would show their amazing technology and make the new people understand how powerful the council was. Then they would offer to help the planet join the galaxy. In return, the new planet would give the council raw materials like metals and crystals. The new people would also do simple jobs that the council needed done. It was a good plan. It had worked perfectly for 3,000 years. Every planet that joined the council became safer and richer. The council became stronger with each new world that joined them. "The humans seem very simple," said Ambassador Korth, a creature that looked like a walking tree. "Our scouts say they still fight wars with each other. They damage their own planet with pollution. They cannot even agree on how to run their world." Other ambassadors made sounds of agreement. This was normal for young species. Most planets went through this phase before they became wise enough to work together. "Their technology is basic too," added Ambassador Yilan, whose people looked like giant blue butterflies. "They use chemical rockets to reach space. Their computers are primitive. They do not even know how to travel faster than light." Zexathara smiled. "This makes our job easier. They will be grateful for our help. They will see how much better their lives can be as part of our community." The council began planning the first contact mission. They would send their best diplomacy ship, the Benevolent Harmony. The ship was beautiful and impressive, designed to show newly contacted species how advanced the council was. It could travel faster than light, had shields that could stop any weapon, and carried technology that seemed like magic to primitive people. But while the council made their plans, something was happening on Earth that they did not know about. 6 months ago, a human scientist named Dr. Sarah Chen had been working at a place called the Arecibo 2 facility. This was where humans listened for signals from space. Dr. Chen and her team had noticed something strange. There were objects in space near Earth that should not be there. These objects were hidden, but Dr. Chen's equipment was more sensitive than the Council scouts realized. She could detect the tiny energy signatures that the Council's cloaked observation satellites gave off. At first, Dr. Chen thought the readings were mistakes. But as weeks passed, she became sure that someone was watching Earth from space. She quietly told a few other scientists about her discovery. They began working in secret to learn more about their watchers. The human scientists were clever. Instead of panicking or telling their governments right away, they decided to prepare. They studied the energy patterns of the hidden objects. They learned how the cloaking technology worked. Most importantly, they began developing their own versions of this technology. Dr. Chen knew that if aliens were watching Earth, they would eventually make contact. She wanted humanity to be ready for that moment. She gathered the best scientists from around the world. They worked in hidden laboratories, building new technologies based on what they learned from studying the alien watchers. The humans had advantages that the Council did not expect. Earth was a planet where different groups had competed with each other for thousands of years. This competition had made humans very good at innovation and adaptation. When they found a new challenge, they quickly found ways to overcome it. While the Council continued their meetings and made their careful plans, the humans were busy. They built new types of spacecraft that could travel very fast without making much noise or heat. They created computer systems that could think in ways the Council had never seen before. Most importantly, they learned to work together in ways that surprised even themselves. The Council's scouts continued sending reports about the primitive humans. They saw the wars and pollution and assumed this meant the humans were not very advanced. They did not realize that these same conflicts had also made humans very good at solving difficult problems quickly. Dr. Chen's team grew larger each month. Scientists from every country on Earth joined the secret project. They called it Project Welcome because they wanted to welcome their visitors properly. But their idea of a proper welcome was very different from what the Council expected. The months passed. The humans built a network of hidden bases on Earth and in space. They sent small, invisible satellites to watch the Council's watchers. They studied everything they could about alien technology and behavior. Most importantly, they prepared surprises that would change everything. The Council finally finished, planning their mission. Ambassador Zexathara would lead the contact team. They would land near a place called Geneva, where many human governments had their meetings. They expected to find confused, frightened primitives who would be amazed by their technology and grateful for their guidance. The benevolent Harmony prepared to leave for Earth. Its crew was confident and excited. They were about to add another world to the great galactic community. They had no idea that the primitive humans they were going to visit had been preparing for their arrival for months. On Earth, Dr. Chen received the final reports from her watching stations. The alien ship was coming. She smiled as she looked at the hidden fleet of human spacecraft waiting in Earth's orbit. The aliens thought they were coming to meet a primitive species that needed their help. They were about to learn that humans had a very different idea about how this meeting should go. The benevolent Harmony moved through space toward the small blue planet. The ship was enormous, almost 2 kilometers long, and covered in smooth metal that shined like silver. Strange lights moved along its surface in patterns that looked like flowing water. Anyone who saw it would know immediately that it was built by beings far more advanced than humans. Inside the ship, Ambassador Zexathara checked her equipment one final time. She wore a special suit that would protect her from Earth's environment. The suit also had translation devices that would help her speak to the humans. Around her, other members of the contact team prepared their own gear. Remember, Zexathara told her team, these beings have never seen technology like ours. They will be frightened at first. We must be patient and kind. Once they understand that we come in peace, they will welcome our guidance. The ship's captain, a 4-armed creature named Bollix, monitored the approach. All systems normal, Ambassador. The humans' detection equipment is very basic. They probably do not even know we are here yet. But Captain Bollix was wrong. Far below on Earth's surface, Dr. Sarah Chen stood in a control room filled with screens and blinking lights. She and her team had been tracking the alien ship for 3 days as it approached Earth. Distance to target? She asked. 2 hours until they reach our atmosphere, replied Dr. Martinez, her second in command. All our ships are in position and ready. Dr. Chen nodded. Around the world, similar control rooms were monitoring the situation. The secret project that had started 6 months ago was now ready for its biggest test. Hidden in Earth's orbit were dozens of human spacecraft, invisible to normal detection methods. The humans had learned much from studying the alien watchers. They discovered that the aliens used a kind of energy field to hide their ships. But human scientists had found ways to make this technology even better. Their hidden ships were completely invisible, even to the advanced alien sensors. As the benevolent Harmony entered Earth's atmosphere, people all over the planet stopped what they were doing to watch. Television stations broadcast live pictures of the magnificent alien ship as it slowly descended toward Geneva. The ship moved without making any sound, floating down like a giant metal cloud. Crowds gathered in the fields outside Geneva where the ship was going to land. Government leaders from many countries came to witness this historic moment. But most of them did not know about Dr. Chen's preparations. Only a few world leaders had been told about Project Welcome. The benevolent Harmony landed with perfect grace. The ground did not even shake as the massive ship settled onto the grass. For several minutes, nothing happened. Then a section of the ship's hull became transparent, and a ramp extended to the ground. Ambassador Zexathara walked down the ramp, followed by 6 other aliens from different species. She had chosen her team carefully. Each alien looked different, to show humans the diversity of the galactic community. There was Korth, who looked like a walking tree. Yilan resembled a giant butterfly with blue wings. Another team member, Vex, appeared to be made of living crystal. At the bottom of the ramp, a group of humans waited to greet them. Zexathara expected to see primitive leaders wearing their best clothes, looking nervous and amazed. Instead, she saw a confident woman in a simple uniform who stepped forward with a calm smile. Welcome to Earth, Ambassador, the woman said. I am Dr. Sarah Chen. We have been expecting you. The words hit Zexathara like a physical blow. In 3,000 years of first contact missions, no newly discovered species had ever said they were expecting the Council. How could these primitive humans know the Council was coming? You have been expecting us? Zexathara asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Dr. Chen's smile grew wider. Oh yes, we detected your observation satellites months ago. We have been preparing for this meeting ever since. In fact, we have prepared a small demonstration to show our appreciation for your visit. She raised her hand and spoke into a small device on her wrist. Control, this is Chen. Begin Phase 1. Suddenly, the sky above the landing site began to change. What had appeared to be empty blue sky now filled with shapes. Dozens of human spacecraft appeared as if materializing from nothing. They were sleek and angular, completely different from any ship design the Council had ever seen. The alien contact team stared upward in shock. Captain Bollocks, watching from the Benevolent Harmony's bridge, felt his 4 hearts beating rapidly. Impossible, he whispered. Our sensors show nothing. How can there be so many ships? The human ships arranged themselves in a perfect formation above the landing site. They were not threatening, but their message was clear. Humanity was not as helpless as the Council had believed. How? Zexathara asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Your cloaking technology is quite good, Dr. Chen replied. But once we understood how it worked, we found ways to improve it. Our ships have been orbiting Earth for weeks, completely hidden from your sensors. Dr. Chen gestured toward a large building nearby. Perhaps we should continue this conversation inside. I think you will find what we have to show you very interesting. The alien delegation followed Dr. Chen into the building, their minds reeling from what they had just witnessed. Inside, they found a conference room filled with humans and strange technology. Large screens showed detailed images of Council ships, including perfect technical drawings of the Benevolent Harmony. Please sit down, Dr. Chen said, indicating chairs that had been specially made for the different alien body types. We have much to discuss. As the aliens took their seats, Dr. Chen activated a holographic display. It showed a 3-dimensional map of the local star system, with Earth at the center. Red dots marked the positions of all the Council's hidden observation posts. We have been watching your watchers, Dr. Chen explained. We know about your standard first contact procedures. We know about your integration protocols. We know that you expect us to become a junior member of your galactic community, providing raw materials and simple labor while you control the advanced technology. Zexathara's bioluminescent skin flickered with colors that showed her distress. How can you possibly know all this? Because we are not as primitive as you think, Dr. Chen replied. Your scouts see our wars and our pollution and assume we are backward. But these same conflicts have taught us to adapt quickly and think creatively. While you were making your careful plans, we were making our own. Dr. Chen touched a control, and the holographic display changed. Now it showed images of human colonies on Mars, Europa, and Titan. The aliens gasped in surprise. Their scouts had never detected these settlements. You see, Dr. Chen continued, we have not been sitting quietly on our home planet waiting for contact. We have been expanding into our solar system. We have been developing new technologies. And we have been preparing for the day when we would meet other intelligent species. The room fell silent except for the quiet humming of machinery. The alien contact team looked at each other with expressions of confusion and growing concern. Everything they thought they knew about humans was wrong. Finally, Zexathara found her voice. What do you want from us? Dr. Chen's smile returned. That, Ambassador, is exactly the right question. But I think you will find that our answer is very different from what you expected. Back on the Galactic Council station, emergency lights flashed in the great meeting hall. Ambassadors from 47 worlds hurried to their seats, their faces showing worry and confusion. News of what happened on Earth had spread quickly through the galaxy's communication networks. Zexathara stood at the center of the hall, but this time she was not alone. Beside her stood Dr. Sarah Chen, now wearing a simple blue uniform that marked her as Earth's first official representative to the Galactic Council. The sight of a human in the sacred meeting hall sent whispers through the assembled aliens. Friends, Zexathara began, her voice shaking slightly. We face a situation that has never happened before in our long history. The species we intended to integrate into our community has surprised us. Supreme Chancellor Vorth, the oldest member of the council, leaned forward in his floating chair. His ancient face showed deep concern. Explain to us how a primitive species detected our observation methods. Dr. Chen stepped forward. With respect, Chancellor, that assumption is part of the problem. You call us primitive, but you base this judgment on incomplete information. Your scouts saw our conflicts and our pollution, but they missed our greatest strength. She activated a small device, and holographic images filled the air above the council chamber. The images showed human cities, but not the ones the council's scouts had observed. These cities were on other worlds, gleaming domes on Mars, floating, structures in the clouds of Venus, underwater colonies on Europa. While you were watching our home world and making your plans, Dr. Chen continued, we were already becoming a spacefaring civilization. Your protocols assume that any species capable of spaceflight is still limited to their home planet. This assumption is wrong. Ambassador Korth, the tree-like creature, rustled his leaves nervously. But our scouts would have detected these colonies. Your scouts looked for technology signatures similar to your own, Dr. Chen replied. Human technology developed along different paths. We learned to hide our energy signatures, to mask our communications, and to build with materials your sensors do not recognize. She gestured, and the holographic display changed to show technical diagrams. For example, your faster-than-light travel relies on folding space-time. Our scientists developed a completely different approach. We punch small holes through dimensions and step through them. Your sensors cannot detect this method because you never imagined it was possible. The council chamber erupted in surprised chatter. Several ambassadors stood up, demanding to examine the human technical data. Dr. Chen smiled and nodded to her aide, a young human woman who began distributing data tablets to the alien delegates. Supreme Chancellor Vorth raised his hand for silence. Dr. Chen, your species' achievements are impressive, but surely you understand that joining our galactic community would benefit both our peoples. We have resources, knowledge, and protection to offer. And what would you expect in return? Dr. Chen asked. The standard arrangement, Vorth replied. Raw materials, basic manufacturing, simple services. Your people would have secure jobs and peaceful lives under our protection. Dr. Chen was quiet for a moment, then shook her head. Chancellor, with respect, that arrangement would be a disaster for both our species. The council chamber fell silent. No newly contacted species had ever rejected the council's standard offer. You see humans as a source of labor and materials, Dr. Chen continued, but that view wastes our greatest resource, our ability to innovate and adapt. Let me show you what I mean. The holographic display changed again, this time showing a split screen. On one side was a council research facility, clean and organized, with alien scientists working methodically on a project. On the other side was a human research facility, chaotic and energetic, with humans working on dozens of different approaches to the same problem. Your people are methodical and careful, Dr. Chen explained. This has allowed you to build a stable, peaceful civilization that has lasted for thousands of years. But this same approach makes it difficult for you to find breakthrough solutions to difficult problems. She pointed to a list of galactic challenges that appeared on the display. Degenerative genetic diseases affecting multiple species. Computer. Consciousness conflicts that make advanced AI impossible. Energy storage limitations that restrict ship design. Your scientists have been working on these problems for centuries without success. And you believe humans can solve them? Asked Ambassador Yilan, her butterfly wings fluttering with skepticism. We already have, Dr. Chen replied. The chamber erupted again as the implications of her words sank in. Dr. Chen waited for quiet, then continued. Human medical research has developed treatments for genetic disorders that affect not just humans, but the basic DNA structures found in most organic species. Our computer scientists have created AI systems that avoid consciousness conflicts by using quantum probability instead of binary logic. Our engineers have discovered energy storage methods using crystalline matrices that can hold 1,000 times more power than your current technology. Supreme Chancellor Vorth leaned back in his chair, looking stunned. You would share these innovations with us? Of course, Dr. Chen said, but not under your standard integration model. We propose something different, true partnership. She activated her device again, and new images filled the chamber. These showed mixed crews of humans and aliens working together in research facilities, human and alien ships flying in formation, and council worlds with human settlements alongside alien cities. Instead of integration as a junior member, we offer collaboration as equals, Dr. Chen explained. You bring stability, wisdom, and resources. We bring innovation, adaptability, and fresh perspectives. Together, we can solve problems that neither of our civilizations could handle alone. The proposal sent shockwaves through the chamber. Some ambassadors looked excited by the possibilities. Others appeared worried about disrupting the established order that had kept peace for thousands of years. Ambassador Korth spoke up. This would change everything about how the Council operates. Yes, it would, Dr. Chen agreed. Change can be scary, but it can also lead to growth. Your current system works, but it has limits. Our partnership could help you break through those limits. Supreme Chancellor Vorth was quiet for a long time, considering Dr. Chen's words. Finally, he spoke. Dr. Chen, your proposal is unlike anything we have ever heard. It would require us to completely rethink our approach to galactic governance. I understand that this is a big decision, Dr. Chen replied. We are not asking for an immediate answer. We are asking for a chance to prove that our way can work. She gestured to her aide, who activated a new holographic display. This one showed a detailed plan for joint Human Council research stations, shared exploration missions, and collaborative development projects. Start small, Dr. Chen suggested. Choose one problem that your scientists have been struggling with for a long time. Let our people work together on it. If we succeed, then we can talk about larger collaborations. If we fail, then we can discuss other arrangements. The chamber was quiet as the ambassadors considered this proposal. Finally, Ambassador Yilan spoke. What guarantee do we have that humans will honor such agreements? Your species has a history of conflict among yourselves. Dr. Chen smiled. You are right that humans have fought wars with each other. But we have also learned to make peace and work together when we face common challenges. The threat of contact with alien species united our world in ways that nothing else ever had. We learned that our differences make us stronger when we work together, not weaker. She paused, looking around the chamber at the assembled aliens. Besides, what alternative do you have? You could try to force us to accept your standard integration model, but that would mean war. And I think you are beginning to understand that humans are not as easy to defeat as you might have assumed. The implications of her words hung in the air. The Council had never faced armed resistance from a newly contacted species. The thought that humans might actually be able to fight back successfully was deeply troubling to many of the ambassadors. Supreme, Chancellor Vorth raised his hand. We will consider your proposal, Dr. Chen. But such a decision cannot be made quickly. We must consult with our home governments and think carefully about the consequences. Of course, Dr. Chen replied. Take all the time you need while you deliberate. Perhaps some of your scientists would like to visit our research facilities. We would be happy to demonstrate some of our innovations. As the meeting ended and the ambassadors began to file out of the chamber, many of them were already making plans to send their best scientists to Earth. Whether they liked it or not, the galaxy was about to change in ways no one had ever imagined. 3 months after Dr. Chen's proposal to the Galactic Council, the first joint research station hung in space between Earth and Mars. The station looked like no structure the galaxy had ever seen before. One half was built in the traditional, council style, smooth curves and flowing lines that seemed to grow naturally from each other. The other half was built in the human style, sharp angles and efficient geometry that looked like it had been assembled from building blocks. Where the two halves met, something new emerged. The joining section combined both approaches, creating architecture that was both beautiful and practical. It was a perfect symbol of what humans and aliens could create when they worked together. Inside the station, Dr. Chen walked through corridors filled with the sounds of multiple languages and the hum of different technologies. In one laboratory, human scientists worked alongside hegemony researchers to solve the quantum consciousness problem that had prevented the Council from developing advanced artificial intelligence. In another room, tree-like Korth engineers taught humans about biomechanical systems while learning about human metallurgy techniques. The first breakthrough had come just 6 weeks after the station opened. Dr. Martinez, working with a crystalline, Vex scientist named Shard, had solved the energy storage problem that had limited Council ship designs for centuries. Their solution combined human crystal-growing techniques with Vex mineral manipulation abilities, creating power cells that could store massive amounts of energy in tiny spaces. Dr. Chen, called a voice from across the corridor. She turned to see Ambassador Zexathera approaching, her bioluminescent skin glowing with colors that indicated excitement. You need to see what has happened in Lab 7. Dr. Chen followed the alien ambassador through the station's mixed human-alien corridors. They passed council members who were learning to use human tools and humans who were studying alien mathematics. The sight still amazed Dr. Chen. Just a few months ago, most of these beings had never imagined working together as equals. In Lab 7, they found a crowd gathered around a medical treatment unit. Dr. Patel, one of Earth's leading genetic researchers, was explaining something to a group of alien doctors. On the treatment table lay a young hegemony patient whose genetic disease had been considered incurable. The treatment combines human gene therapy techniques with Council's cellular regeneration technology, Dr. Patel was saying. Alone, neither approach was strong enough to cure this condition. Together, they can completely repair the genetic damage. The young patient sat up on the table, her skin glowing with healthy blue light for the first time in her life. The alien doctors around her were making sounds of amazement in their various languages. Dr. Chen smiled as she watched the scene. This was exactly what she had hoped would happen. Ambassador Zexathara touched Dr. Chen's arm. 6 of our greatest medical researchers have been working on this disease for over 200 years. Your Dr. Patel solved it in 8 weeks. Dr. Patel did not solve it alone, Dr. Chen replied. He needed your regeneration technology to make his gene therapy work. This is what partnership means, combining our different strengths to achieve things neither of us could do alone. News of the medical breakthrough spread quickly through the galaxy's communication networks. Within days, representatives from dozens of council worlds were requesting permission to send their own researchers to the joint station. But not everyone was happy about these developments. In the council's main meeting hall, a heated debate was taking place. Supreme Chancellor Vorth listened as ambassadors argued about the changes that were happening so quickly. This partnership is moving too fast, complained Ambassador Threx, whose people had always been among the most conservative council members. We are sharing technology with humans that took us thousands of years to develop. What if they use it against us? What if they do not? Countered Ambassador Yelan. The medical breakthrough alone will save millions of lives across our member worlds. The energy storage technology will revolutionize our transportation systems. Are we to reject these benefits because we are afraid? The debate continued for hours. Some council members worried that rapid change would destabilize their carefully balanced civilization. Others argued that refusing to work with humans would leave the council behind as the galaxy moved forward. Finally, Supreme Chancellor Vorth called for silence. Perhaps we should ask Dr. Chen to explain how she sees this partnership developing. Dr. Chen, who had been listening quietly from the Human Observer section, stood up. Chancellor, if I may. She walked to the center of the chamber and activated her presentation device. The holographic display showed a timeline of council history, stretching back 3,000 years. Your civilization has achieved something remarkable, Dr. Chen began. You have maintained peace and stability across dozens of worlds for millennia. This is an incredible accomplishment that humans deeply respect. She gestured, and the timeline extended forward into the future. But your current approach has limits. Your expansion has slowed. Your technological development has plateaued. Some of your member species are showing signs of stagnation. New images appeared, showing council worlds where populations were declining and innovation had almost stopped. You have achieved perfect stability, but stability can become stagnation if it is not balanced with growth and change. Ambassador Threx stood up angrily. Are you suggesting that our civilization is failing? Not failing, Dr. Chen replied calmly. Aging. Even the greatest civilizations must change and grow, or they begin to die. Humans offer you a way to revitalize your civilization without destroying what makes it great. She activated a new display showing the joint research station and the breakthroughs that had already been achieved there. Look at what we have accomplished. In just 3 months, your people are excited about their work in ways they have not been for decades. Young aliens who were bored with traditional research are now competing to join our joint projects. Supreme Chancellor Vorth leaned forward. What exactly are you proposing for the future? Dr. Chen smiled and gestured toward the holographic display. Phase 1 is what we are doing now, joint research stations and collaborative projects. Phase 2 would be joint exploration missions to discover new worlds and new species. Phase 3 would be the creation of mixed colonies where humans and aliens live and work together permanently. The chamber erupted in surprised chatter. The idea of mixed colonies was revolutionary, but the ultimate goal, Dr. Chen continued, raising her voice above the noise, is Phase 4, a new kind of galactic civilization that combines the best of both our approaches. Council wisdom and stability, balanced with human innovation and adaptability. Ambassador Korth rustled his leaves thoughtfully. This would essentially create a new type of government for the galaxy, not a replacement for the Council. Dr. Chen clarified. An evolution of it. The Council would remain the primary governing body, but its methods would become more flexible and dynamic. Instead of top-down control, you would have bottom-up innovation. Instead of rigid protocols, you would have adaptive solutions. She paused and looked around the chamber. I know this sounds like a lot of change, but change does not have to mean chaos. Humans and council members are already proving that different species can work together successfully. We just need to expand that cooperation. The debate that followed was intense but more thoughtful than before. Ambassadors who had been completely opposed to human partnership began to ask detailed questions about how the new system would work. Others who had been enthusiastic supporters started to worry about potential problems. Finally, Supreme Chancellor Vorth called for a vote. All those in favor of proceeding with Phase 2 of the human partnership proposal, hands, tentacles, claws, and other appendages rose throughout the chamber. Dr. Chen counted carefully. It was close, but the vote was positive. Phase 2 is approved, Chancellor Vorth announced. May the ancestors guide us in this new path. As the meeting ended and ambassadors began filing out of the chamber, many of them were already making plans for joint exploration missions. Dr. Chen remained in the center of the chamber, watching the aliens leave and thinking about what came next. Ambassador Zexathara approached her. Dr. Chen, I must ask, are you certain that humans and council members can truly work together permanently? Your species has so many internal conflicts. Dr. Chen smiled. Ambassador, those conflicts taught us something important, that differences can make a group stronger if they are managed correctly. Humans learn to use our disagreements to find better solutions. Now we can teach that skill to the galaxy. As they walked out of the chamber together, Dr. Chen added, besides, I think you will find that having a common goal makes cooperation much easier. And we definitely have a common goal now. Which is? Zexathara asked. Making sure we are all ready for whatever else might be out there in the galaxy. Because I can guarantee you that humans and the Council are not the only intelligent species with their own plans. 2 years had passed since Dr. Sarah Chen first stood in the Galactic Council chamber and proposed a partnership between humans and aliens. Now she stood on the observation deck of New Harmony Station, the largest joint research facility in the galaxy, watching a sight that still amazed her every day. Outside the massive viewing windows, ships from dozens of different worlds moved in organized patterns through space. Human vessels with their sharp, angular designs flew alongside Council, ships with their flowing curves. But most impressive were the new hybrid ships, vessels that combined human and alien technologies to create something neither species could have built alone. The morning traffic report, said Dr. Martinez, joining her at the window with 2 cups of coffee. 15 human freighters, 23 Council transport ships, and 8 mixed crews heading out to the frontier zones. The galaxy has certainly become a busier place. Dr. Chen accepted the coffee gratefully and smiled. Remember when we thought the biggest challenge would be convincing the Council to treat us as equals? Now we have alien teenagers learning to drive human-style spacecraft and human children, studying hegemony biomathematics in mixed schools. Through the windows, they could see the newest addition to the station, a massive growing section where Korth engineers were cultivating living buildings using techniques that combined alien bioarchitecture with human engineering. The structures looked like giant flowers made of metal and crystal, but they were actually the most advanced research laboratories in the galaxy. A soft chime announced an incoming message. Dr. Chen activated her communicator, and the face of Ambassador Zexathara appeared in a holographic display. But Zexathara looked different now. Her bioluminescent skin showed patterns that humans had learned indicated excitement and anticipation. Dr. Chen, Zexathara said, we have just received confirmation from the Long-Range Exploration Fleet. They have found something you need to see immediately. 15 minutes later, Dr. Chen and Dr. Martinez were in the station's main conference room, surrounded by human and alien colleagues. The room itself showed how much had changed in 2 years. Human chairs sat next to alien perches, breathing equipment for different atmospheric needs was built into every workstation, and the holographic displays could show information in dozens of different visual formats. Captain Torres, a human who commanded one of the mixed exploration fleets, appeared on the main display. Behind him, Dr. Chen could see the bridge of his ship, where human and alien crew members worked side by side at control stations. Dr. Chen, Council members, Captain Torres began. 6 days ago, our long-range sensors detected artificial structures in the Kepler 442 system. We have completed our initial investigation, and what we found changes everything we thought we knew about intelligent life in the galaxy. The display changed to show images of a solar system with 5 planets. Around the 3rd planet, massive structures orbited in perfect geometric patterns. The structures were clearly artificial, but they did not match any known architectural style. The builders are gone, Captain Torres continued. Our dating analysis suggests these structures are over 50,000 years old, but they are still operational, still maintaining themselves and still sending out signals. Ambassador Zexathara leaned forward, her skin flickering with colors that showed deep interest. What kind of signals? Mathematical sequences, Star, charts, and what appears to be a database of intelligent species throughout this section of the galaxy. The database includes information about the Council and about Earth. The builders were watching both our civilizations long before humans and aliens ever met. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Dr. Chen felt a chill run down her spine. Captain, are you saying that someone has been observing all of us for 50,000 years? That is exactly what I am saying, Captain Torres replied. But there is more. The database includes information about other intelligent species that neither humans nor the Council has ever encountered. Some of these species appear to be much more advanced than either of our civilizations. Dr. Martinez set down his coffee cup with shaking hands. How many other species? At least 47 that we can identify from the incomplete data we have accessed so far. And the structures suggest that the builders left this information here deliberately, as if they wanted it to be found by species like ours. Supreme Chancellor Vorth, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. Dr. Chen, this discovery validates your warnings about preparing for whatever else might be out there. It appears that whatever else is much larger than any of us imagined. Dr. Chen stood up and walked to the holographic display, studying the images of the ancient structures. The question is, why did the builders leave this information? Were they trying to help younger species prepare for something? Or were they warning us about something? Captain Torres adjusted something on his display, and new images appeared. These showed detailed scans of the structure's interiors. The buildings contain what appears to be a massive computer system, still active after 50,000 years. Our initial attempts to interface with it have been successful, but we have only accessed a tiny fraction of the available data. We need to proceed very carefully, warned Ambassador Korth, his tree-like form rustling with nervous energy. If these builders were advanced enough to create such structures, their technology could be dangerous. Or it could be exactly what we need, Dr. Chen replied. Think about it. For the first time, humans and council members are working together as true partners. We have combined our technologies and our approaches to problem-solving. Maybe that partnership is exactly what is needed to safely explore this discovery. Dr. Martinez nodded. Sarah is right. Neither humans nor the Council could have made this discovery alone. Human exploration techniques found the structures, but Council long-range sensors provided the detailed analysis. Our mixed crews were able to make contact with the computer systems because they could think about the problem from multiple perspectives. Ambassador Zexathara's skin displayed patterns of agreement. The Builder's database includes information about species that failed to develop beyond their home worlds, species that destroyed themselves in wars, and species that achieved great things through cooperation. Perhaps the Builders left this information as a test, to see which young species could work together successfully. Supreme Chancellor Vorth was quiet for a long moment, considering everything they had learned. Finally, he spoke. Dr. Chen, when you first proposed partnership between humans and the Council, many of us worried that it would destabilize our civilization. Instead, it has made us stronger and more capable than we have ever been. He paused, looking around the room at the mixed group of humans and aliens. Now we face a challenge that neither of our species could handle alone. We need all of our combined wisdom, technology, and adaptability to safely explore what the Builders left behind. Dr. Chen smiled. Chancellor, are you suggesting that we expand the partnership even further? I am suggesting that we treat this discovery as our first truly joint mission, Vorth replied. Human exploration capabilities, Council analytical resources, and mixed crews working together to unlock the secrets of these ancient structures. Captain Torres appeared excited by the possibility. With respect, Chancellor, we could establish a joint base in the Kepler 442 system. Human engineers could work with Council scientists to safely interface with the Builder technology. We could take our time and study everything carefully. And, added Dr. Chen, we could use what we learn to prepare for contact with these other intelligent species that the database mentions. If we are going to meet civilizations more advanced than our own, we want to do it as united partners, not as separate groups competing with each other. The vote to establish the joint mission was unanimous. As the meeting ended and the various participants began making plans for what would be the largest combined human-alien project in history, Dr. Chen remained in the conference room with Ambassador Zexathara. Ambassador, Dr. Chen said, when you first landed on Earth, did you ever imagine that it would lead to something like this? Zexathara's skin displayed colors that humans had learned indicated amusement. Dr. Chen, when I landed on Earth, I expected to meet primitive beings who would be grateful for our guidance. Instead, I met a species that had been preparing for our arrival and had plans of their own. She paused, looking out the window at the busy traffic of mixed human and alien ships. Now we discover that someone else has been watching all of us and making their own plans. It seems that having a better plan than what others expect is not unique to humans. Dr. Chen laughed. Maybe that is the most important lesson we can share with the galaxy. Always be ready for the unexpected and always have a backup plan. Or, in this case, Zexthera replied, always have a better plan. As they watched the ships moving through space outside the station, both the human and the alien were thinking the same thing. The galaxy was much larger and more complex than either of their species had imagined. But for the first time in their histories, they were not facing the unknown alone. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever other intelligent species they might encounter, whatever secrets the ancient builders had left behind to be